I went to go see Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I went to the inauguration.
I'm not attacking you.
You get in this town, you got to be real careful around here. You know, you get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany. I don't know what.
It's interesting because you're the industry that screams for tolerance. But Hollywood, as we all know, they're very hypocritical, and tolerance is one-way street.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem.
Hollywood parades itself as a beacon of truth and justice until one of its own dares to question the script. While most actors play along, a few have risked it all to expose the industry's double standards, dirty secrets, and hidden rules. Marlon Brando shook up Hollywood in 1973 when he refused his Oscar for The Godfather, sending activist Sachian Littlefeather to call out the industry's treatment of Native Americans.
I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry. Excuse me.
Instead of self-reflection, the audience booed because nothing ruins a perfectly scripted awards show like a dose of reality. Brando later explained that Hollywood lives in a fantasy and he had simply crashed the party with the truth.
Well, actually, I think the people were booing at me. They were booing because they thought, well, this moment is sacrosanct and you're ruining our fantasy with the intrusion of a little reality. And I suppose it was perhaps unkind of me. And
if Brando questioned Hollywood's morality, Mel Gibson went even further, suggesting something much darker was lurking behind the scenes. In a 1998 interview, Mel Gibson expressed his suspicions about the Antichrist lurking in Hollywood.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. Mm-hmm. And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think...
He also shared his eerie encounter with Christopher Walken, which only fueled those suspicions.
Christopher Walken, first time I ever did a casting session in America, terrified me.
Me too.
I mean, I came to meet the guy. They said, oh, he's flying in from God knows where.
Yeah, but he didn't need a plane, right? Yeah. It's like he came to see me on a rooftop in New York, and he began to talk tortures. And we swapped tortures because I'd read this book on torture. Mm-hmm. I turned around to avoid his steady gaze at one point, and I was looking at a building with the top of the sixes on it. So there was a huge illuminated triple six in red. Yeah. And I went from that to that to that, and he started smiling. Yeah. And I thought, oh no, Chris Walken is the Antichrist, you know?
Fast forward to 2025, and Gibson confirmed what many suspected. The Passion of the Christ was rejected by every major studio.
Yes, it was self-funded, and it was a very strange experience, that one, because I put the money in, and I thought, well, maybe I'll break even. And it was, then I got these messages back. All the majors wouldn't distribute it. So I was like, nobody will distribute it. Okay, I guess I've lost it, you know.
Right, so there was two things. There was resistance to the Christianity aspect of it and promotion of Christianity, and then there was resistance to the fact that you went outside the system.
It was outside. Well, I had no alternative.
Right.
Because no major would back it.
Because of the Christianity aspect of it.
I guess, yeah.
While Gibson hinted at something sinister in Hollywood, Corey Feldman didn't just hint, he outright exposed its darkest secret. When Corey Feldman sat down for an interview in 2011, he didn't talk about bad casting decisions or unfair contracts. Instead, he talked about Hollywood's #1 problem.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me, till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Hollywood's love for secrecy is legendary, but some actors like Jim Carrey prefer to laugh in the face of the industry's hidden hand. In 2014, Jim Carrey went on Jimmy Kimmel Live and mocked Hollywood's obsession with secret societies.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know, Jimmy Fallon doesn't know, David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Then in 2017 at New York Fashion Week, he told a reporter that this entire event was meaningless, calling out the artificiality of celebrity culture.
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
I mean, you got to admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons.
While Carrey made his criticisms with humor, Tim Allen went for the jugular. Tim Allen learned the hard way that Hollywood loves tolerance until you gave the wrong opinion. In 2016, he criticized Hollywood's political double standards.
What I find odd in Hollywood is that they didn't like Trump because he was a bully. But if you had any kind of inkling that you were for Trump, you got bullied for doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets a little hypocritical to me, is that you can now bully people, and you're always on the defense with this, but mostly what I'm finding is there's no source material.
Then in 2017, he compared the climate to 1930s Germany, saying people in the industry had to be careful about what they said.
So I went to go see Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I went to the inauguration.
I'm not attacking you.
You get in this town. I'm not kidding. You got to be real careful around here. You get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany. I don't know what happened. If you're not part of the group, you know what we believe is right. I go, well, I might have a problem with that.
But it wasn't just conservatives calling out Hollywood's contradictions. Matthew McConaughey had a few things to say too. Matthew McConaughey has always been a bit of a wild card. On Russell Brand's podcast, he pointed out something painfully obvious. Hollywood was in denial.
I'm sure you saw it in our industry when Trump was voted in 4 years ago. They were in denial that it was real. And some of them were in absolute denial.
Instead of trying to understand half the country, the industry just mocked them, proving they weren't as open-minded as they claimed.
When you say, hey, we want to get out the vote, we want people to be able to go vote. We're going to do a campaign to let people vote. You have 100% of the audience going, I'm in. That's a constitutional right as an American. I'm in, yes. And then they can't help themselves. At the very end of it, they go, so we don't let those criminal bastards get back in office. You're going, whoa. You're like, no, don't say the last part. You lost 50% of your audience.
If Hollywood was in denial, Ricky Gervais was there to snap them out of it with jokes that hit a little too close to home. Ricky Gervais' 2020 Golden Globes monologue was a masterclass in not caring. He took shots at Hollywood's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, making the crowd groan.
You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
He also joked about the industry's willingness to work with anyone, even if it was ISIS, as long as there is money involved.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you?
And just to make sure everyone squirmed, he reminded the room that they all worked with Harvey Weinstein.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the up.
While Ricky Gervais mocked Hollywood scandals, Jim Caviezel took aim at one of its darkest realities. Jim Caviezel didn't just promote Sound of Freedom, he dropped a bomb, claiming that Epstein Island wasn't the only one out there.
During the 5 screenings, each screening, there was talking going on. And I was like watching the audience going, what? Second time it happened. Again, third time, talking in this one particular spot. At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked him about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against. Epstein Island isn't the only sex island out there.
While Jim Caviezel exposed Hollywood's darkest secrets, Dean Cain took aim at its growing obsession with wokeness and cancel culture. In 2021, Dean Cain called out Hollywood for its obsession with wokeness and anti-American narratives, wondering when patriotism became a bad thing.
I love Captain America. I love the concept of Captain America, but I am so tired of all of this wokeness and anti-Americanism. It goes through everything. It's in our school system. The cool thing to do today is bash America. The comic books do it. The schools indoctrinate our kids. They do that. Our movies, our television shows is full of it. Celebrities, actors, athletes, the media, they love to bash America. I don't get it. I wonder to myself often, do these people ever travel outside of America? Do they go to other countries where they have to deal with governments who aren't anywhere near as fair as the United States?
By 2022, he doubled down, calling out cancel culture, saying Hollywood's real message is simple: agree with us or disappear.
Oh, that message is shut your mouth, stay in line, or you'll be canceled. And the weird, ironic thing to me is that those who are screaming about inclusivity and acceptance, they want dissenting voices silenced. They do not want free speech. That's the definition of fascism.
Amen.
If Dean Cain questioned Hollywood's agenda, Kevin Sorbo proved that having the wrong beliefs was enough to get you erased. Kevin Sorbo went from Hercules to Hollywood exile after his Christian and conservative views got him blacklisted.
Well, my agent manager called me into their office about 11 years ago, and they said, you know what? The fact that you're Christian, the fact that you're conservative, we can't get you work anymore. And I was like, what? Really? I mean, I doubt if I'm the only conservative in Hollywood. I know most of them are afraid to come out of that closet. And I know I'm not the only Christian in Hollywood, but I guess I was too vocal for them. But I said, this is interesting because you're the industry that screams for tolerance. But Hollywood, as we all know, they're very hypocritical, and tolerance is one-way street. It's weird to me what's going on in the world right now with all this hate and divisiveness. It's just strange to me.
Sorbo didn't beg for acceptance, though. He just went independent, proving that Hollywood's rejection isn't a death sentence.
I spoke the truth. I know a lot of people don't like the truth anymore, but I don't have regrets. Look, I formed my own company, sorbostudios.com. I've got a movie coming out in theaters that I directed here in America. Rumors that it's going to make it down your way, but it's right back here. A little bright up there. It's called Miracle in East Texas.
While Sorbo lost work for his ideologies, Rob Schneider wasn't afraid to keep talking. Rob Schneider called out Hollywood for its selective outrage, especially after Will Smith's Oscar slap.
Will Smith is a twat.
Oh, I liked him.
Will Smith has been hiding the fact of who he really is, and it was exposed that night. That he's really an ass.
The same industry that claims to stand for accountability seems to have different rules depending on who you are.
That's how politically correct the Academy is.
Right.
Because if I would have done that, they would have been hauled out to prison. But because they were so worried about being, racist. The point is, violence is what it is, and what the color of your skin or your religion doesn't matter.
Sure.
If you commit a crime in front of other people, you get hauled out of there.
Yeah, but didn't you also sort of think, he's standing up for his missus?
It doesn't matter. You can't hit another dude.